So we do blogs. We do we'll do informational blogs, then we'll do recipe blogs, and then we do blogs for the podcast as well, and then obviously the podcast. And then we've got a variety of different things that are videos that we only put on social media.
Yeah.
So you have to be following on social media to get them. So there'll be live Q&As and things like that with JJ that, just quick videos and that kind of thing.
I'm Shayna. I love dogs, I trip a lot, and I happen to have a knack for making pretty sweet videos for businesses. But the more videos we made, the more questions I got about how video and other content can be leveraged to make a bigger impact in their marketing. I mean, 44% of marketers say that producing content is their biggest challenge, yet content marketing is 62% less expensive than outbound and produces 3 times more leads. Now, I know a lot, but I certainly don't know it all, so I made it my mission to talk with content kings, queens, and bosses to learn as much as I could about crushing content marketing, and I'm taking you along with me. Welcome to the Content Coalition. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us with today's episode of the Content Coalition. I am here with Spring Barnickle with JJ Virgin. She's the CMO, and we're going to talk about some pretty awesome stuff that they do with their content strategy. And we're at Traffic and Conversion today also.
Yes. So we're in a really cool little banquet room. Our setup is pretty savvy today. So if you hear some noise and some craziness, that's because we're here.
Proud. Yes, happy to be here and happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, thank you. So tell me a little bit about JJ Virgin for those who do not know who she is, and let's hear about that.
So JJ Virgin and Associates is the health side of the brand. She's got 4 New York Times bestsellers that she's done, 2 diets and then 2 cookbooks based on that. And so the whole business is based around supporting that community. So there's online programs that support the books, and then there's shakes, bars, supplements that support the programs.
Cool.
But that's the key for us, that we're not trying to get out there and compete with everybody who sells a protein shake. We are providing products that support the programs.
That's awesome.
That's a big part of the mission.
That's a huge shift,
yeah.
right?
Yes,
is
absolutely.
that interesting to market, or is it, because I'm sure that's unique to how everybody else is doing
well,
it?
Well, it is. In some ways, it makes it simpler because then you take out all of that. I'm not trying to be the lowest price. I'm not trying to compete with everybody else on Amazon. I'm trying to do a very specific thing for a very specific set of people. Cool. And I think the key to our entire success has been that we know our audience and we know what they want, we know who they are, and so then I can speak to that very specifically and I don't have to worry about what somebody else is doing with their shake or their bars, because it's not really important.
Yeah, right. That's marketing 101, know your audience.
Exactly.
And then you know how to talk to them.
But so many people miss it.
I don't get it.
And there's so many modern tools to take advantage. There's so many ways to do it and do it well and really get to know them. And I love that. I love, and I do try to get in the community and we know our raving fans and we, by name and see them in person whenever possible. Yeah. But at the end of the day, analytics is where it's at. So
for sure, you got to prove that it's working in some capacity. Right on. So how long have you been there?
I've been with her, a little over 3 years now.
Really?
So, yeah.
What were you doing before?
I was doing, so for about 15 years, I ran my own business doing websites, and that was back in the days. I was an English major. I loved words. I loved writing, but that was in the days where nobody hired you to just write copy for a website because it was too new. Yeah. And so you could either work for a giant agency, which I had no desire to do, or you had to learn how to build websites. So I learned HTML and I learned graphic design and I built websites so I could write copy for websites. And then
you created your own destiny. I love that.
And then eventually it got so that people realized it was really just a great thing to have good marketing copy. Yeah. And because I did have that background, I knew what the tech person was going to need. I was familiar with the idea that your headline should be this many characters or it's going to look funny, not just because it needs to be effective. So I was able to do that. And I did a lot of, marketing consulting, but in a very hands-on, let's guide your brand, find out who your audience is. And again, that was in the days where there weren't all those analytics, so you had to kind of really read into a lot of information. So we're spoiled rotten at this point, basically.
The people who are just getting into it now are like, oh, this is so hard. I'm please.
No, it isn't.
Can prove
are you
your
kidding
worth
me?
in this
you
industry
have Google
now.
Analytics. You zip it.
There's no guessing game anymore.
Exactly.
So then were you tailoring to a specific type of client? Were you doing nutrition and fitness?
No, that's why I feel like everything I ever did in my life was leading me up to doing this. So I had done a lot with food, and nutrition was very important to me. I ghostwritten cookbooks, which there's NDAs, so I can't say who. But that's how those things go. And I had done, I had done every possible type of website, from swimming pools to real estate, and everything in between. But my passion was being fit and being healthy and taking good care of yourself and doing it naturally. And I'd had some really serious health struggles where I had to kind of be like, okay, if I'm going to survive, I got to figure stuff out because doctors are not.
Yeah,
and also I get to define what success is. I'm not going to listen to them about like, here's what you're capable of and here's what you'll ever achieve physically. That was off the table. And so I really started diving in, and I love research. I'm a numbers nerd, but that carries over. It worked really well. So I had, I was happy to read papers and figure things out. And as I did that, it became more and more a way of life. And then I found JJ. And it was like everything that I love. I already knew the food side, everything I loved and had a passion for about helping people feel their best, because I learned firsthand, doesn't matter how much money you have, doesn't matter how well your business is going, the day you lose your health, you lose it all. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters anymore the day that diagnosis happens. And I think that for me, that's what drives me, is like, I like to make money. Like marketers
let's be honest.
Like, let's do it. But I'm going to make money like helping people.
Yeah.
And knowing that what we're doing is serving a purpose and improving lives and lengthening lives. And that to me is like, that's kind of the best it gets.
That is so cool, right? So you went from then like your own business and setup to straight into...
And I moved to San Diego, and I was like, I'll just do some contract stuff on the side. And I was ghostwriting a book for someone who was incredibly obnoxious. Again, will not say who. And, and I was like, yes. And I was like, I need something to do that is not this person, and I'm just going to do some contract stuff on the side just to be doing something I love, because I love copy and then she had a need at the same time. So I came in doing that and then doing my own thing, and I got to the point where I was like, okay, do I want to start back up the marketing? And then right then they kind of had a need for more writing, and so it just built. But it's a testament to how much I love this business and how highly I think of JJ Virgin just as a human being, because I've never worked for anybody else.
Right, that's why I asked.
Since I was 24 years old.
Wow.
I've never done one business all the time for 3 years, because that's not the name of the game. You build the website, you help it be successful, and then you move on. But it's been so fulfilling, and it's fantastic because I actually get to build a team and stick with them and stick with the community. And I am a completionist, so once I have a goal, I'm like, okay, I don't have to stay and do this thing.
What's the big goal right now?
So the big goal right now, we're about to launch a membership site. And it's to try to get people as much consistency as possible and as much community as possible. Because especially with your health, if you feel alone in it, it's really hard to stick to it. Even if you have the best intentions and great information, like you just can't do it without. And a lot of people don't have that. They don't have family who are saying, cut gluten and dairy and let's eat totally differently and test some stuff back. Like they just want what they're used to.
Yeah.
So I think that's an opportunity we have. We serve primarily women. Our demographic's about 85% women. Right. So it's an opportunity to really make a change with the people who are kind of the CEOs of their household, is how JJ likes to put it. Like they're the ones making the change. They will make the changes across the board anyway. And so it's an opportunity to support them better. So I'm excited. I'm thrilled because the membership site will allow people, rather than getting the individual programs piecemeal, like you get access to all of them at once, and then you get a community, and we're building a set of health coaches, and it's all super
That's so
exciting.
great. So, I was just going to ask about the community thing, because that's really where you're going to get the help and like the consistent like rah-rah that you need, because I've done, I'm trying to do the gluten-free currently. I'm Italian, first of all. That does not work very well.
I'm so sorry.
There's
some really good lentil pastas, and that helps. But
it's a lot better now than it was like 4 years ago.
Yes,
so I mean, it's not too bad, but
it's fantastic. Well, that's been the nice thing. Like JJ wrote the books, and she was kind of a visionary, and she was one of the first. Like when she said go gluten free, that's back when like you lived in LA, you were gluten free. You were a hippie, you went gluten free. And otherwise, people were just like, what's gluten? And now people understand, and there's other options. But the whole point of the thing is you can't feel deprived and you can't feel alone.
Right.
Like that's going to kill it every time. And I think that's the case for every human experience, not just health. Right. Like it's anytime you feel like you're going without and not getting what you wanted, and you're in it alone, you're going to quit. So
that's a true statement for sure. Yeah. Okay, so then now you are full CMO status.
Yeah.
JJ Virgin. What is your typical role? Like, what are you overseeing? Obviously everything, but like, what's your passion and what?
Well, when you're a content marketing company, then the CMO is obviously going to be overseeing everything. But I think obviously we've got we have a small team. We're all working remotely, which I love,
Nice. Yeah,
but
that's
we
great.
live in Slack. I mean, that's like,
Yes.
but the trade-off is you can work in your pajamas and nobody knows.
Yeah.
I'll take it all day long.
Right.
So,
Right.
but we, there's people wear more than one hat typically, and I do that on purpose. I think it's really important for somebody not to just create content in a bubble or run ads in a bubble, so I try to put people so that they're at multiple stages of the process. So for instance, our health coaches will help write some blogs, but then they also are in social media answering questions or helping CE with a more technical question, so they stay in touch with the people they're writing for.
Great.
And so we kind of do the same thing across the board. The person who does our ads helps write the captions and plan the content calendar, because she should know what's coming, so she knows what to run ads to and do all that. So we try to really have a lot of crossover there and keep people, and then the person who does our SEO also runs our store, so we've got that intertwined, and I think that's been really key, both to let us run really like lean and mean, but also my goal is to have everyone who works for us think this is the best job I ever had. Like I would never leave. I want it to be really positive and uplifting and nurturing, and I want everybody to be healthy. I want them to, to feel really good about where they work and walk the talk. And then I also want them to feel like they know exactly what to expect. So we do a lot with Asana. Props to Asana.
Right. Yeah.
They're my life.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is just communicating and then planning and watching the numbers like crazy all the time and making changes accordingly.
These good old analytics.
Yeah.
Right.
You all should know at this point that you have to be repurposing your content. You need to be taking your audio, your blogs, your podcasts, your videos, and turning them into smaller, bite-sized snippets for social media that are video, that have optimized thumbnails, that are images, that say really amazing stats and things that your guests have said. If you're not repurposing your content yet, then you are behind the game. So that is why I created Repurpose House, to literally take this piece of your content game off of your hands and to do it for you. So if you know, which you should know, that you need to be taking all of your existing content that you worked so hard on and probably spent a lot of time and money on, if you know you need to put that out into the world so that it's able to be engaged with in the right way for the right platforms, then you need to sign up for repurposehouse.com. One low monthly fee gets you as many assets as you can handle to put onto your social media calendar and start driving traffic to all of your lead gen landing pages, websites, blogs, wherever it is that you're taking traffic that actually gets them to convert. So check out the link in the description. We've got a really cool deal for you right there. It's repurposehouse.com, but make sure you go through the link because you'll get a really cool promo code.
Okay, so let's dive in. I know we were going to talk a little bit about like some of the strategies that you guys use for like lead gen and like the types of content. You guys do a lot of freebies, right? Or at least you have a couple of them.
We do. We try to do. So that's an interesting shift too. It's as I'm sure everyone who does this has noticed, it gets more and more expensive to run an ad and get a lead, and it gets harder and harder to get a lead who's willing to spend money unless you're very specific with your targeting. So we've gotten a lot more specific with that. And if you do that, if you've got an audience that you know is going to be willing to invest, then it's fine to give a thing away free. If you're not, and you can't guarantee that that's part of it, then I'd rather do something that requires just a micro commitment. So like free plus shipping,
right?
Anything that gets them to spend a little. And then I find like you've made that initial jump, like you've made that shift to where they see themselves as being a customer, as opposed to being offended.
Right.
That you try to sell them something. That's not my people.
Yeah,
you
right.
know?
And honestly,
like
that
that
don't need
doesn't
to
help.
be pushing
And
that.
they always wind up being like the biggest customer experience headaches as well. Like they always want the most because they want it all free.
Right.
So I say we've got a 7-day stop, drop, and swap challenge, which is effectively the first week of the Virgin Diet, or our online program that goes with that, which is called Breakthrough Food Intolerance. Gotcha. So they get everything they need, all the recipes, all of that. There's a tripwire that gives them the shakes they need to do it. But then it's just a matter of taking them through the first week, helping them see the incredible success, because that's the beauty of JJ's programs. Another reason I stuck around, they work.
Weird,
like,
right?
Every time. So that's nice.
Yes.
So and then give them an offer to go into the full program and continue on.
Gotcha.
So we do that, and then we used to do some longer lead magnets. That's the other thing that I'm sure all content marketers, I don't have to tell you, people don't read. It is so sad for me. Very, very sad that people don't read anymore. They don't. So you used to be able to do, give somebody a bunch of recipes or a bunch of content and it would matter, and now it just overwhelms them and they won't even download. So what we do now is like this micro version when it comes to lead gen. So we used to give you, 47 recipes, now you get 3. And that's what
and 3 does better than 47.
Yes,
it's so weird.
As long as they're cold traffic.
Right.
I mean, warm traffic, I'm still going to give you the 47 because that's better and they're on board and they know who we are and it makes sense and they're excited to have it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've really changed how we do lead gen for that reason. And then the membership site will be kind of that missing piece where you have an opportunity to give them another way in, beyond the core offer that all of that's leading to.
Gotcha.
So,
okay, cool.
yeah.
So basically those 2 programs are going to lead into the membership site. Are you guys going to do a different type of like lead gen opt-in type thing to get them in that?
So we've got a whole bunch of lead magnets that we're testing.
I'm sure. That's why I'm asking.
So we'll do 3 tips to do something. We'll do, like I said, a small number of recipes. We try to do something. We struggle just because we're on Facebook and basically can't talk about the thing we do.
That's hard.
Right, like I can never say weight loss. I can never talk about a symptom. I can't imply that you're even unhappy and want to change your life or that the way you're doing it now is bad in any way, but yet still assume that you do want to make a change and that you'll somehow read between the lines and find it. So it's a lot of, I feel like a good portion of effort when it comes to just designing the funnels is just about, okay, what can I actually advertise to? And what will be successful is not really about what's best for the people, which is tough.
Yeah, that's
It's hard. It's hard to know this is really what I should tell you, but this is what Facebook will let me tell you.
Yeah.
And then I'll wait till the thank you page to tell you the real stuff.
And then bam.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we've got a whole lot tested right now, just, tips to cut sugar, different recipes. It just depends on what, who the audience is and what the weigh-in is. And then that's typically leading to a free plus shipping offer of some sort or a BOGO, something that's going to be, you got to pay something, but you're getting a fantastic deal and then getting bonuses that are, and our people like hands-on and we have physical products, so we can do that. I know not everybody can.
Great.
So, but yeah.
And at least they're investing a little bit in dipping their toe
and then
in the water.
I either give the 7-day stop, drop, and swap. If we're going to give a freebie to cold traffic, I do it after they've shown a willingness to do the free plus shipping as part of a bonus.
Right.
And then we use the truly free funnels to go to warm.
That's awesome. So how do you suggest people do that who don't have a physical product that they can just ship? Like the just purchase shipping is awesome because like it's this much, but they've invested. Like what would be your suggestion to people who don't have a physical product?
So there's a lot of people who do this really well, not necessarily in our space, but I think if you can, Cole Joseph does this very well. Like he does like the $2.99 guide.
Okay.
And so it's not that much. He does $1.99. You can test. Like we've been able to do higher than that. We actually don't do as well when we go that low for whatever reason. I think because it's the health space.
Sure.
And I think people kind of feel like they either want to spend a lot or they want it for free. It's just how it is. But if you're in a different market, different niche, you probably get away with the $1.99, $2.99. But you come up with something digital that is an obvious piece. Don't make something from scratch. Please don't make more work for yourself. Do something that is a piece of whatever the core offer is, and then give them that for just that small amount. And anything you can do to get that is going to translate to a better customer who's just automatically more invested from the beginning. I mean, obviously financially, but just, emotionally.
Right.
In what you're doing.
Yeah.
So you can absolutely do it.
That's
even
awesome.
If you want a physical product.
Okay, cool. See, so there you have it. There's, for all of you who aren't selling things that you ship.
Yes.
Okay, so then what types of content are you guys producing to support the site then?
So we do blogs. We do we'll do informational blogs, then we'll do recipe blogs, and then we do blogs for the podcast as well, and then obviously the podcast. And then we've got a variety of different things that are videos that we only put on social media.
Yeah.
So you have to be following on social media to get them. So there'll be live Q&As and things like that with JJ that, just quick videos and that kind of thing that you get that way. So it's sort of and then at this point, I mean, we make a video out of everything because you kind of have to.
I love it. See, she's speaking my language.
Yes, definitely.
Perfect. So is there any key, so I love that you guys we don't talk to a lot of people who are in the space where they actually have physical product that they're selling. Mm-hmm. Like we're doing a lot of agencies and courses and things like that. So, I mean, is there, for those people who are listening who do physical product, what is one small strategy that you think that they can implement in the next 48 hours that they're that will totally help my game?
Especially if you've already got physical product. But this would work regardless.
Yeah.
It works especially well
Perfect.
if you've got physical product. I think let me back up a tiny bit and say one thing. Don't discount things. You hear me saying that? Don't do it. If I could go back in time and we never had store-wide sales, I would never do it again. So if you're just getting into offering physical product, don't do it. Give them free things. You build the right kind of customer. You get rid of the people who are sort of such bargain shoppers that they wait for the sale, and then you just give them more opportunity to share the love. You're giving them swag. It's things they want. It helps them live the lifestyle better, whatever your lifestyle is. It doesn't have to be, health, diet, whatever related. Right. So that would be, with that caveat,
yes.
Then if you're doing physical product, the thing I try to do is regularly go in and find who are my best customers, and then find your number one product. What's the thing that sells the best?
Yeah.
And then find the ones who aren't getting it and give them some of it. Give them an offer on it. If you can do a physical product and do a sample, give them a sample of it. But you always want to be sure that your best people are buying your best stuff, and you would be amazed at how often that's not the case. Yeah. So I just go in quarterly and just find the people who don't match, and then give them an offer, and it works every time.
That's so awesome. And then it keeps the value with your product too, because you're not discounting something that you know is worth what you're selling it for originally. And I think that to the right client, that's important, because they know that you're not cheapening your own product,
and then they're not seeing in the store, well, if I wait long enough, I can always get this shake on sale, or I can get this program on sale, or that kind of thing. It's really just about, give it, and I think it's okay to give someone something special, but I prefer to give them freebies with it.
Yeah.
And absolutely, if you hear JJ talking, to other businesses about what to do, she will say the same thing, because that's when you're nurturing the right people. Those are the people who
and you want the right people too. It's not about just getting as many people.
No,
it's
I
about
don't
the
care
right
about
ones.
how big my list is. I will regularly prune people off our list, because I'm like, it's just, they're not the right fit for us.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be speaking their language, and I'd rather they go find somebody else that's a good fit than us do this.
For sure. That's awesome. So. Well, is there anything else you feel like you have been dying to share that you want to share with the audience about?
I'm
anything?
Good. You asked
this
great
has been great.
Like, that was fantastic.
I've learned so much. So I mean, I'm super full. I have a lot to take on and churn with. So awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking time. I mean, this conference has been crazy, and she's got her whole team here, and she took time out to hang with me and you guys for 15. So thank you.
Yeah.
Have an awesome rest of your show. And
thank you. You take care of the rest of the conference.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Thank you so much for checking out this episode of the Content Coalition. Now, whether you're listening or watching, make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel and to whatever platform you're listening to it on, because you're not going to want to miss out on the incredible things that I'm learning with these amazing content marketing pros. So make sure you subscribe, and we will talk to you next week.